right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, church. All right, wow, I'm saying hello to everyone over the globe. You know, it's a stream service, okay? All right, so, well, tonight will be our last lesson on our Love One Another series. And it's called Deepened by Family Relationships. And as previously already sent a note to the members of the church, and some of my friends, of course, but if you don't have the notes yet, please ask the person next to you, and they will send it to you. Okay? All right. Deepen of family relationships. So what is your first impression, or what could you think of when you think of family? Okay? Some of the people might be thinking, oh, father is the iconic breadwinner. Or as Cantonese, we have a saying, you must go home to have your mom's soup. Okay? Well, you know, 阿媽靚湯唔飲好方. Yeah, so it is blasphemy, or like it's a direct offense against your mom if you don't go home and have a soup. Okay? Or get A+, if not, go sleep under the bridge. Okay? Or maybe you think of family, it's about home sweet home. Or maybe you always were jealous about another family. Well, here is how I felt when my mom leaves the house and when she travels overseas. I feel like an emperor when my mom is not in the house. When I was younger, of course, I felt like, wow, me and dad are finally in charge of the family. And then as I grown older, it's like, no, I'm in charge. I'm so happy when my parents are gone in the family. So I can be this in my world. Okay? Well, here as we are at church today, that we are a family of God. Definitely. Because at the end of the day, it is a family relationship. And so because no relationships can be sustainable when a person has missed out on a family relationship with others on God's standard.
Come on, preach, bro.
So today, point number one, we are family.
Come on.
And when Jesus, before Jesus was being called, after Jesus was being called crazy by his own family, and he said this, Mark chapter 3, verse 34 to 35. Then he looked at those seated in a circle around him and said, here are my mother and my brothers. Whoever does God's will is my brother and sister and mother. Imagine you saying that to your family. Right? I'll pray for the consequence, but God loves you. Okay? Well, so even after Jesus' family called him crazy, and he says such a thing, that means like people who does God's will are way closer to him than his physical family. But does that mean he no longer loves his family? Well, let's keep going. Okay, well, church is a place where people should find the emotional values, because of the age differences that we have, like occupations, culture that we have today, even just in the Hong Kong church, we truly function as a family members on every different level for one another. So emotional value in relationships refers to the depth and quality of the emotional bond between each one of us. So it includes a feeling of trust, understanding, and support. And most of us are being raised from a family background that's lack of such a emotional value. And at least the level is not being met on a God's level. Well, our families that lack emotional values tend to focus more on possessions. Possessions such as materialistic belongings, or like even about emotional attachment as well. And a discussion about riches always break relationship, because there's a saying in Chinese, it's called 講錢傷感情. So when you talk about money, it always hurts your relationships. There you go. That's a See, that's a feeling of support. All right? Okay, guys, learn from that. But so as we can understand literally what the word possession means, it's related to control and management, definitely. But relationship is not about that. Relationships are about commitment and trust.
Let's go, bro.
We've mixed these two up. It's a trap. It is an emotional kidnap. Okay? So, as growing up, my family was never been unified between my mom and my dad. And later on, of course, the divorce. And as I grown up, they would still talk to me individually, right? On phone calls and even face-to-face. They will always remind me of the other side. How they felt I should not trust the other side. How they mentioned it's so important that I should talk to the other side about the heritage and my inheritance because they're not trustworthy based on their own experience. So I was facing these comments about distorting my view on my own parents. But one thing I think I was really blessed with is that such a view was really protected by God. Because I always insist on one point, is that how I view about my mom and my dad is different than how they feel about each other. Because I could never forget the things that have done for me. I could never forget those sleepless nights and those tears and sweats that they have contributed for my life. Right? And I grown up as a very privileged kid. So at least I got those from my family. Okay? And this is how I view about my parents. That has never been lost. And I always told my parents is that my dad is my dad, my mom is my mom. You guys, husband and wife, that's between you two. And same view, I can view it on my mentor and of course his wife as well, Joe and Carrie. As like they have demonstrated such a connection, like as a true mom and dad, to most of the people that were sitting in this room. This really demonstrates that it is possible and it's essential that we treat each other like brothers and sisters. Because some of our families might not have that opportunity, or that such a view has been ruined by the worldliness out there. So because of the because that reflects a foundation in each in each of your relationships. So if you're simply just seeing when I can mention a random brother or sister, when your heart is simply thinking that they're just my friend or just someone at the church, maybe it's time for you to rethink, like what is missing between the relationship between you and that person. Well, as we talk about here are my mother, brothers, and sisters in this room. Well, where's the father then? Well, Jesus is definitely the father figure of a church. Again, in John 13, verse 34 to 35, a new command I give you, love one another. As I've loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. As Jesus says here, my command is that you should love one another, your brothers and sisters, spiritually, like I've loved you. So seeing God should be our greatest focus in our life. We can have different jobs, we can have different degrees or even different culture, but there's one thing we should always seek first, that's God.
Come on.
Because at the end of the day, our mission, no matter what we do, who we are, is to seek and save the lost. And therefore, we must fear the love of God over the whip of our dads.
Right, come on.
As how important that is, as we can see how Jesus learned to be a father figure. So, like many fathers, as a father figure, we need to learn how to love people. It's not just about our own biological family, but also if your father is a business owner or he's a manager, he got people under him. Okay, and but fathers always receive heartaches, like more heartaches than any other family members. And Jesus is the same, but he actually that's the only thing that he has received from his loved ones back in the days. but yet he continued to love. How? Because his primary focus is to have his emotional and spiritual needs to be met by God, his Holy Father. If he expects all of that coming from men, he will be absolutely miserable. Because of that, that stopped him, prevented him to become an abusive father, an absent father, a silent father, a critical father, as you can name. As many fatherhood has experienced such atrocity that we have experienced by different families. But so instead, he loved God with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength. So he's being able to treat all of his enemies and adversaries as himself. So the prayer of Jesus is all about, how can I better help these people? How can I save this guy? This guy's turning away from you, God. How can I help him? So we're going to ask ourselves today that, especially as Christians, are our prayers more self-focused today or more others-focused? Because Jesus' legacy is all about his love. This is probably the most unique last will for someone's children. Because as many families, they inherit their own business. Ask the children, hey, you got to take over my business. Or like you have to have some certain skills. You must carry on these skills. Or traditions, even like the bank accounts, right? Even family recipes. And just simply like European last names, right? For example, Smith. It means that the family is good for being a blacksmith. It's like good at hitting metals. So people back in the days, especially in Europe, has been remembered for what their family were good at. But what is your legacy today? What is your last name? Is it same as Christ? Is it the same as the inheritance that's been given by Christ? For example, Joe Willis is our world sector leader once again. Basically, he's the father, like in our world sector. He's the father figure. Under his leadership, we lead each other through relationships. That's his specialty. And as friends, there's no judgment or any fears to ask any type of questions. All questions are welcome to ask with one another here. And this man is willing to be able to, just for the record, right? This man was willing to meet 30 people a day. And these 30 people, not just random 30 people just trying to be, have a nice chat with him. This record was set like 30 people with furious attitudes or even with lots of hurts are being left down by the previous leadership. He was willing to face that in a single day. And that is also why we have the lowest rate of people leaving God in this world sector. And also under him, we are taught with a lot of skills about money. We are probably the best ones to make the most out of the minimal spending. Okay? And same with, and just another example, over in there, like in our church in Europe, our European world sector, led by Michael Williamson.
Yes.
All right, like Abby Sheck is from our European world sector as well. So his leadership is known for faith and boldness. That's why he has the most professional artists and musicians being converted. And the leaders, he trained are phenomenal with the creativity. Just listen to the group called Soul Collective. It's on Spotify. Go listen to them. All right. Well, and then looking at these men, then I ask myself, all right, what kind of family will I build? It ultimately made me to become a bit fearful about my iniquities. Because recently I've been urged to resolve stress promptly. Because I normally just isolate myself and then just in that way so I can stay calm. Okay, but that means I need to be okay. So the solution is I need to be okay with my wife, okay, who is closest to me, to contact other men, to call me and ask, hey, what's up? Because normally I don't like that. Okay, I just leave me alone. But that's not really resolving my issue. Okay, so I should, but like by that such a in such a way that I should perceive it is a protection. It is love coming from my wife to call me and to call someone to correct me. So otherwise, I would jeopardize my family relationships when I have kids. Because having such a vision about like kids, like my future, and the people I'll be leading in the future, it trembles me to change.
Come on, bro. Come on.
So following Christ allows you to have a vision with power.
Right. Come on.
Everything you do affects the people around you, definitely. And family is the best vision to see if your powers count.
Right. Come on.
So here, I challenge everyone to ask the people around you if they are actually becoming more confident or more fearful by what you do.
Right.
Point number 2, the truth of love. Male and female, He created them. Male and female, man and woman are created by God. So, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, so God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. So the relationship between the opposite sex not determined by our own will. It comes from how we have treated each other in a family sense. Let's keep going. So, what we have learned about opposite sex in the world is basically all wrong. That's why gender abuse exists in all human cultures. In Cantonese culture, males are valued way more heavily than female. And men, for example, in China, men must guarantee materialistic possession to earn a trust from a woman.
Come on, bro.
For example, even queens were being abolished in the past because they could not deliver a son. And females, according to my wife, are the dominant figure in Chile. So man has no say at all. And women are basically belongings to Muslim men in the world. And in India, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? In the urban cities, over 50% of women have never stepped outside of their house. Not never, but at least not that frequent. Because of like the traditional sense of like women should stay at home, and because when they go out, they can get like either be attracted to another man or be raped. But in the free world, even men and women, actually this is the worst. Free world is the worst. Okay, men and women exploit each other sexually every single day.
Come on.
This includes a pornography, right? Like you use a female or male image on the screen to exploit the image.
Right.
But we forgot or even ignored about that's the image of God.
Come on. Yeah. That's true.
So it hurts God so deeply that for Him to see this. But how do we end up like this, men and women? Abuse comes from lack of biblical standard of purity, definitely. Also comes from superficial friendships because we don't know how to be friends. And also lack of a greater purpose when we have a relationship together. So I'm just going to share a bit about my second relationship in the world out there. So it lasted for 2 years, and during those 2 years, I've been fighting my life to find a solution to where we should end up in, because it was a long-distance relationship. And I suggested many options. I even like show with my own deeds, saying, "Hey, I'm establishing this and that in New Zealand. Why don't you come here? And this opportunity, I can find you like a job opportunity here, and also and this and that. And also along the way, I have to plan out like trips and vacation locations just to please her, to make sure this relationship survives. That she still trusts me. But it just ended up in disaster. We ended up like counting how much money we have spent on each other, how much time we were wasting on one another, and then she went away with another man, just a bunch of humiliations and also lots of like hope defers. So, we could talk about it's 2 years, why would we waste those 2 years when we do not deliver an outcome in a relationship? But as you can see, years to spend with a person, they are just numbers when the purpose is not great enough to unite the two of you. And definitely our purpose was all on possessions. We didn't even treat each other as family. So, and that leads to when we date as Christians, we date in purity. And what is that? What is dating in purity? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 to 7. It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the pagans, who do not know God. And that is in this matter, no one should wrong or take advantage of a brother or sister. The Lord will punish all those who commit such sins. As we told you and warned you before, for God did not call us to be impure, but to live a holy life.
Come on.
So these relationships between us, especially between brothers and sisters, this should begin as a family relationships. We should treat each other as brothers and sisters. Simple as that. For example, right, like with only until I was 22, I had my half sister. I never grown up with a sibling. So, for example, for some of you that have a sibling, you wouldn't do anything that's immoral to your brothers and sisters. That's weird. But even having such a thought. But as you can see, because the world is so ignorant in terms of teaching us, helping us to cultivate a pure and friendly relationship between the opposite sex, even with your own siblings, can be messed up. That's why, like, even my friends from Samoa, like it's an island country, they insist on evil desires with their siblings. Not in a sense of making fun of people, like even in the U.S., in some countryside places, they do that. It's like, I'm just naming these places because they're known for that. But you see, when a person cannot be pure and respectful with the opposite sex around them, they will never be respectful and loyal to their partner. And to treat the opposite sex as your sister and brother requires what? A sacrificial and protective love. It's no longer about just having fun, go out and drinking and eating. With such a love, a family relationship is established. And so your other relationships are established and sustained. So if a relationship should proceed romantically, it should be inspired by spiritual focuses. So, for example, through sharing spiritual insights with one another, like sharing in quiet times, what you have learned from reading the Bible and praying to God, and your spiritual dreams. What do you want to do for God's kingdom, which is the church, like God's people? For example, also to communicate or understand each other's struggles appropriately,
Right.
and also most importantly, to working together.
Yes.
You don't have to be in a full-time ministry. Even me and my wife, when we started dating, I was still working not in a full-time ministry, but we took the privilege of being able to share together, to share our faith to people, to see like, wow, like I really admire how my wife just can walk up to anyone and just be joyful, and then like asking, hey, how's your day? Like, and naturally through that she attracted people. So there's no greater romance than saving the world together with your spouse.
Come on, Sarah.
So when the world is worrying about gifting materialistic possessions and holiday locations just to keep our relationship to survive, we don't even need to think about that. Because we are bonded by a greater purpose. Romantic love is about learning to appreciate each other, about each other's burden. What do I mean by that is like, same as like how we should understand each other's struggles. Because when you, especially in marriage, you got what's her business is my business. What's my business is my wife's business. So, for example, my wife, unfortunately, like her brother, like suffered from incurable illness. Of course, like pray, hope God can still help him, but basically her brother cannot have to live on a wheelchair. He cannot move his arms and legs, and because of some genetic, some issue with his DNA. So by learning that, I really have to think about like, hey, if I marry her, can I take that responsibility? And same thing. That's why like we communicate with each other. Hey, do you want the ministry or not? Because by getting into the ministry, it affects many different areas of our lives. Because our lives are completely, really out of our control, and also we cannot really have a calculated financial income anymore, right? And basically, she also has to accept that maybe one day I need to preach 4 times a week. And meanwhile, I have to go share my faith with people, helping people. That means I won't be able to have that much time for her. So all of these, we've got to take into account. It's like love comes from liking each other's burden. It's like if my burden is given to my wife, would she love to do it herself? If her burden is given to me, would I love it to do it myself? And that's what it means to understand each other spiritually.
Come on.
And just coming to an end. Only Christians can get marriages right. This is not boasting. This is the truth.
Right, come on.
Preach it, bro.
You should get married if you do not have if you do not have a godly self-control. It's not a must, right? Starting from this verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1-2. Now for the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman, but since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relationship with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. So, yeah, it's very clear that there's no problem if you don't get married, right? Because getting married is all about helping you, yourself, and each other to go to heaven. It's not about pleasing your family. It's not about meeting expectation of a social norm. And plus, marriage was never been created for that. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8-9. Now, to the unmarried and the widow I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do. But if they cannot control themselves, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. So, it's 2 things. It is foolish to sacrifice your place in heaven for a worldly relationship. Second, it is definitely unloving and selfish not to be a Christian. Because even your unbelief, in such a way, even your unbelieving partner can see hope one day. Because 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 12-14, it says, to the rest I say this, I, not the Lord, Paul. If any brother has a wife who is not a believer and she's willing to live with him, he must not divorce her. And if a woman has a husband who is not a believer and is willing to live with her, she must not divorce him. For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife, his believing wife. And the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her believing husband. Otherwise your children would be unclean, but as it is, they are holy. So here I really have to once again lift up Jackie. That is a man who knows about true love. His wife is not a believing wife, but he has persisted to walk down this path to be with God. Because one day her wife will see hope in him and from him. Because as the Bible also says that when a person is not at the church, the Christian next to them is the church. Okay, because I believe many men would have already backed off when their partner does not agree with the Bible, does not agree with the man committing a different lifestyle, but that man continued. So, and to become, as for Christians, for us to get married is about mutual submission, because we come down to becoming one flesh. And just like what Abhishek shared earlier, like same as one church, we play different parts, but we are as equal as one another. So me preaching up here is not higher than all of you. Matthew leading the church is not higher than any one of us, right? It's just we're taking different responsibility for the moment. Okay, and Ephesians chapter 5 verse 21 to 33, because it's very long, I'll just read the key parts. So at the beginning it says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourself to your own husband as you do to the Lord. Husbands, love your wife just as Christ loves the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy. And coming to at the end, the ending says, love his wife as he loves himself. And the wife must respect her husband. So me and my wife, we are equal. Just because she's made to support me, it does not mean that I have authority above her. Only God has authority above on our souls. Okay? Only God can judge us. Only God can determine when we die and when we continue to live. So there must not be confusion about the roles in any relationships. Not as friends, not as work, not at work, and not in marriages. So when you get the roles right in relationships, you are free to live however you like. But if you get them wrong, you are condemned to live in guilt for the rest of your life. So this is the solution to many complaints against a wife or husband out there in the world, right here. And when now I'm standing in a position of as a married man, now I finally get marriage is actually a paramount to practice the right love to different people. Because again, let's go for revision for the 3 different loves in Greek. One is filial, that's a friendship type of love, which we should have respect, honor, and purity for one another. And another one is eros, that's a romantic type of love that exists between me and my wife only. Okay? And agape, that's a unconditional and sacrificial love from God. And that's been demonstrated by Jesus himself. So, being here, I must, and I'm now very aware of my positions and my boundaries with different people. Especially with women, from inside and outside of the church. So, the first thing I asked Matthew when I came to Hong Kong, I remember that was, he got to hold me accountable for how I've interacted with women here. If I've called, he needs to call me out immediately if I cross any boundaries with a woman. Because the freedom of man is about making decisions. And that's my role as a husband in our marriage. And I appreciate that just then. Before we were playing the games, and then I was just focusing on my reviewing my lesson notes. And then my wife was asking who would go for my Bible talk to play the game. And I was like, well, you don't need my permission. Just choose anyone. And then she just said, you lead it. Well, if that's the expectation from my wife, that's how she feels to be led, to be protected, I need to do it. And doing this is not just to protect her, because to lead, to make decisions, it's also for God. That's what God wants a man to do. And of course, the women around me, they should feel pure and protected and safe around me. And my wife should be able to feel radiant and confident amongst all other women out there. This includes what I do behind closed doors. And my brother should see me as an example. So for my wife to feel such a way, I will need a biblical family relationship with all of you. Definitely. So, coming to an end. There's no any other relationship or type of love can exist without the level of love has been defined in agape. Okay? What is agape in the Bible? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 8. Love is patience. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And here's the homework for all of us. We're going to fill out the word love with our name. Okay? We're going to pray through it after you fill that in. And then you ask yourself, is this me? If not, why not? Is this my partner? If not, why not? And do I want to live my life according to this scripture? To become like that? If not, why not? So, tonight, I believe that as all of you, as Melissa is patient, Sarah is kind, Matthew does not envy, Lon does not boast, Lily, right? Ellie is not proud, Finn does not dishonor others, and Nicole is not self-seeking, Mavis is not easily angered.
Who said that?
Well, there you go. If not, why not? Yeah, right. And Queenie, are you right? Queenie keeps no records of wrongs. Jason does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. And who is next to Jason? Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. Abby should always protect. Alfred always trusts. Denzel always hopes.
Yes, he yes.
Is it? Wait, what? I just saw that you were looking around. I just saw you looking around. Okay, what? Well, Jess always perseveres. Yes, she did. Yeah, right. And lastly, of course, she's not the last one. It includes all of you. Zach never fails. So tonight, let us become family for one another, and all of our other relationships will be fulfilled by God. To God be all the glory, and let's split into our Bible talk group.